All right, I have the Viking Jay Erickson back on the show, who fights next on June the 17th at Combat FC1 when he meets Jay Bakinoswki. Jesse, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. And this is a massive card. I mean, Combat FC1, obviously, formerly World Fighting Championship. Joe Cav's the owner. So back and another great promotion here in New England on UFC Fight Pass. How excited are you for this opportunity?
I'm excited, man. It's one of those things where if you stay ready, sometimes these opportunities just kind of fall in your lap. I was fortunate to get out of my last fight without any injuries, and I'm healthy, ready to go, already in shape. So why not?
When were you presented with this opportunity?
I was a little over like 2 weeks out from the show. At first, they asked me, and I was like, it's a lot to figure out for me and my family and everything. Obviously, my family comes first. So I had to talk to the wife and make sure that we're going to have someone to watch the child and, figure all the logistics out. And then there are medicals that are a little bit more complicated than Maine. So we had to figure out getting a CT scan and stuff too. So we officially accepted the fight about 2 weeks out. So yeah, it all worked out. I'm happy that I can step up and give Jay an opponent.
Absolutely. So what weight class will this be at? And what's your weight at right now? How close are you to making it?
It was originally slated to be 155, but I asked them to bump it to 160 just because it's short notice. I could probably make 55, but like if he's happy to take the 5 pound bump, then I'm happy too. I'm only walking around like 168, 170 anyway, so it shouldn't be a bad cut.
Yeah, not bad at all. Now, you've been around the New England fight game for quite some time now. Do you remember, like, have you ever, have you competed on a WFC card back in the day? I mean, I'd have to go back and look through your Tapology, but I'm sure you remember the promotion.
Yeah, I remember the promotion. I never competed for them. I've been actually I've fought for Bellator once, and I fought for a promotion in Canada once, BTC. And other than that, it's just been NEF. So it's not like too often I step away from NEF, and I'll be back to NEF too, of course. But this just kind of the timing worked out, and everything kind of fell together the right way. So we're gonna do it.
Obviously, NEF 48 has already been announced. That's at the end of July down in Southern Maine. Is there a chance that as long as you're healthy, you could be on that card?
There's always a chance, but we'll see. I also am going to have a lot of teammates on that card too. And as a coach, I like to be there to corner my guys and stuff. So we'll see how that shakes out. But
okay, well, hopefully, I'm sure CMBJJ will be finally represented NEF 48, no doubt. Let's recap your most recent one, NEF 47, the main event, ran right through Matt Denning, round one RNC victory. Break this one down for me. Did this pretty much play out like you expected it would?
Yeah, pretty much. I know he said when he was doing his interview with you that I've always kind of wung it, but there was a game plan, and we knew that he didn't want to take damage, and that after I threw a few kicks, he'd rush into clinch, and then from there, grappling would take over. And it pretty much went exactly the way that we thought it would,
How weird was that fight camp and just walk to the cage for you? Because obviously, with all the history between you and Matt, I got to imagine your emotions were different. Can you just kind of dive into that and explain how difficult that may have been?
It wasn't difficult. I don't get like overly emotional. This is fist fighting. Like I've done this 20 something times. Like I don't really care, man. Like we've been apart for so long that, obviously like we had a, training partner kind of coach relationship in the past, but what's it been like 4 years since he's been in the gym? So it wasn't like this big thing that I was worried about. And, he didn't leave the gym on great terms and everything like that. And you heard that whole story, he talked to you and stuff, but it was just another day in the office really for me, honestly.
Is there any change in the relationship moving forward? Or are you guys just separated and you guys are not going to come back together at any point?
So I talked to him a little bit after the fight, and I just said, Matt, I don't hate you. A lot of that's hyping the fight and things like that. And like I don't hate the kid, like but he's made his mistakes and he's got to live with them. It's time for us to move on, go our separate ways and everything. But I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he's making all the changes that he said he's made, and I wish him well in the future.
Okay, that's very, very well said. What did you think of the venue and just the fans there? I loved it. I hope that NEF goes back there. What was your overall takeaway from you and the team?
That was awesome. I had a lot of friends and family there. We had a good showing for it, and I think it was a sold out crowd and great venue. We actually had room in the locker rooms, and overall, it was a great experience.
And tell me a little bit more about, your gym, CMBJJ, and how it's evolving. I mean, I know you guys have a lot of fighters there on the mats day in and day out. How do you feel the progress has been over the last couple of years?
Everyone's improving, getting better day in, day out. I don't have to chase guys down for workouts. They're just there. They're there for Thai boxing. They're there for no-gi. They're there for gi. They're there for MMA. Like, they want to be there. They want to get better. And that's the kind of people that I want to surround myself. I don't want to chase people down that, do you want to fight or do you not? Like, if you want to fight, then you should be here training for it.
Okay. Is there anyone that we haven't seen make a debut yet that you feel like has a high upside that might be fighting for NEF or another promotion soon?
Yeah. I got a guy, he'll probably fight at 195, maybe 205. His name is Jared. He's an exciting prospect that we've got coming up here. So I'm looking forward to seeing him make his debut. What else we got? I'm hoping to get. I'd have to look at my list, but I got a few names. I'm hoping that we'll have like 3 or 4 guys on the NEF card for July.
Okay, very, very cool. And I know Glory Watson, she comes down and trains with you guys, every week, I believe, right? Can you just talk a little bit about her evolution as a fighter? Because I'll tell you what, that not this most recent one, NEF 47, but NEF 46, that performance for my money was like her coming out party. Have you just seen some evolution in her game over the last year or so?
Yeah, it's cool working with her and seeing her grow as a fighter. She's great energy, great person to have around the gym whenever they come down. It's I used to drive up to Bangor to train with Chris, so it's a blessing to have them come down here. And Chris just runs a practice for us, so it's nice. I can just kind of take my coach hat off and put on my gloves and train with the rest of them. And just watching her grow and get better as an athlete. She's like a true student of the game. She's just there getting better every day with a smile on her face. So she's a pleasure to have around.
Yeah, the smile never goes away. Now, obviously, what's up next is June 17th, but on June 26th, you have a grappling match against Eric Johnson. How do you decide to do something like that, knowing that you have an MMA fight around the corner?
That's what I told them. I was like, guys, this is an MMA fight. I'm happy to step up and take the match and everything, but obviously, like, if anyone's ever seen me fight before, like, I don't go out there with respect for my own body, really. Like, so there's anything could happen. Hopefully I'm healthy enough to compete in that, but my focus right now is competing for Combat FC first. And as long as, everything goes well, I come out not too banged up, then I'll be right back on the mats for Flow Sub Only Open.
Okay, well, let's dive into this Combat FC1 event again. June 17th. It's at the Shriners Auditorium. Your opponent, Jay Bakinoswki, he's 4-3, so you've got a lot more experience than him. And he did have a round 3 TKO victory most recently in February, but prior to that, he hasn't fought since 2016, so he's been away for a while. What do you know about him? What kind of a fight do you anticipate this to be?
I don't know a ton about him. I've seen like a little bit of footage on him and stuff. I saw his most recent fight. And then it's really hard to like look at, looking at the most recent fight. It's the only one that's really worth looking at, because in 5 years, I don't know what he's doing. He might be in the gym every day training and getting better. So I'm going to just review the most recent footage and not put too much stake in what his previous performances look like. Not that he's ever looked bad. He looks game. He looks strong. Like a good wrestler. He's got a good straight left, as we saw that Cage Titans knockout he had. So yeah, I think it should be a good scrap.
Do you have a prediction? I don't think you're really the trash talking type, but do you want to give that out? How do you feel like this is going to end?
Um, I don't like to pigeonhole myself into like a specific way of winning, but I see myself winning, of course. Like, it'd be foolish to say anything else, right?
Right. No, very, very good. And Jesse, you're not an old guy by any means, but I mean, you're not 21 either now. How much longer are you going to do this? Like when you look into the future, how many more fights do you feel like you're going to have?
I'll do it for as long as I'm healthy enough to compete and as long as I'm enjoying it. I do this because I love it. I don't, there's no other sport that makes me feel this way, like just the flood of emotions and the adrenaline rush that you get from it. It's unlike anything. So I'll do it for as long as it works for myself and my family, and as long as my body holds up and I'm able to do it at a good level. I don't want to go out there far past my prime and put on bad performances and stuff. As long as it's exciting and it's something that my friends and family want to see, then I want to be in there competing.
All right. Well, I always love watching you compete. Again, Jesse, the Viking Erickson, back in action June 17th at Combat FC1 against Jay Bakinoswki. Great talking to you again, man. It's been far too long. Before I do let you go, I want to give you the floor. If you have anything to plug, like your gym, or if you want to tell people where to follow you on social media, floor is yours.
Yeah, you guys can come train with me right at Central Maine Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in Lewiston, Maine. I also train occasionally at Recon in Westbrook. Once in a while, I'll stop into Cugno's boxing gym. There's and then Chris Young and Young's MMA as well. I love working with them too. All my sponsors from my last fight and stuff. Obviously, I haven't had a lot of time to put together a bunch of sponsors and shirts and things like that for this one, which is kind of a relief. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting in there competing.